But now we're going to see Luca starting off with a Mermail here. We're going lore accurate. And I see a deep sea Ministrel in hand. Ooh. I also see a brick. I see the stream, which is also called the Icarus attack for water monsters. I see, there's also double Purulia. Is there any access to a combo? Luca is shuffling through his hand and he can't believe it. I don't think there is anything.
There's no way. I jinxed it by saying we're seeing Mermail combos first, and
Basti,
this is
it's all your fault again.
This is the hand. Look, Luca is trying to think of something, but I don't think he's finding anything here.
He can normal summon Mistral and set stream.
But he didn't even do that. Over to Uchenna is this, and he's of course living the dream. Not even a single card activated into him here, and he has 6 cards in hand now, ready to go.
And you immediately hand looped your opponent for 2. And if you are uncertain if you can win the game in this turn, I think this is also a moment where you might just pass back. You know your opponent can't play at all.
Surely.
They've just discarded 2 cards. You're risking your opponent to draw into more hand traps by playing. I could definitely understand just saying, hey, you know what? Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I think Uchenna is considering it. Look, there's the hand gesture. No cards being activated to the field. What is this? So, Luca, what are we drawing here? Did we find a play?
The Shadow Squad, which is an amazing new card.
Are we off to the races now?
With Mistral.
We do! There we are. Finally, the first Mermail cards activated.
So, Mistral reveals his opponent's hand and to banish 1 card until the end of the phase. And of course, Shadow Squad, when it is discarded to the graveyard for a cost of a water monster, can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Mermail or Atlantean from the deck.
Oh, yes.
Have you seen Uchenna reading this and just shaking his head like, oh, this did not just happen right now. And of course,
there it is. We're having a look all together, and we see a Flamberge, double impermanence, a Kirin, an Olkinix, and the Hollowed Azamina. So Uchenna would have been able to play, but he didn't want to use that normal summon to give Luca 2 draws there.
Well, you're gonna take 1 impermanence, right?
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. But then there's still 1 left.
Neptavis goes to send to the graveyard, so he can actually play.
Okay, goodbye Infinite Impermanence. 1 left in there, but Luca also now with ways to play.
Yep, double Purulia, absolutely broken, stall for a turn.
Okay, Shadow Squad activating. This is one of the ultra rares from Rota, and it is going to now, as you just explained, Mike, activate its effect and bring out a Mermail from the deck. And I think this is always Prince, right? There's no discussion about it. It's just
sometimes
always has to be Prince.
You can special summon a Beespike, but most of the time it's Prince.
Yeah, but Prince also has the, I want to say, grown-up version of Prince. Now there is another Neptibus. This is the Prince, but there is Neptibus, the King now as well in the extra deck, which is phenomenal support. But we all know ever since Neptibus came out, the deck just thrived off of its effect. And not only the effect, but also of the cost of the effect, because you have to send a water monster to the graveyard for cost, or a sea serpent rather. And that is going to trigger the send card. So if you're throwing an impermanence, oh no, does this resolve?
I mean, we're doing the cost first, so Uchenna then will still have the chance to respond. And I mean, this is just usually going to be Atlantean Dragoons. This card was one of the best cards back in the day for Mermails, and clearly it is still, of course, yeah.
Usually now the target is the Shadow Squad. However, as this one has been used already, we're going for a different route here. Usually you want to summon Neptibus, send the Shadow Squad, and special summon out the Pike after having searched something else by the Dragoon.
Oh, what are we searching here? Because the search does resolve, and ooh, that is another one of the new Mermail monsters. This is just the Abyss Rhine that we're adding, also free up in the deck.
An amazing card that you can discard. Another card, you can tribute 1 monster from the field or 1 card and special summon 1 level 7 fish from the deck, or you can add it to your hand.
Okay, so it's a bit controversial in the Mermail community right now, whether you are playing Mermail Abyss Megalo or not. Mike, you're an expert of the deck as well. What do you think about Megalo? Of course, back in the day, he was like the monster to go into, but nowadays it's still, yeah, with the time, is it a good card to play?
Yeah, it's a very good card because going second, it can help you make OTK and win the game.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Also, it is the coolest looking Mermail card, and I don't
agreed.
want to have any kind of discussion about this. This is just absolute facts now. We know the hand of our opponent. There are 5 water monsters in your graveyard because, yes, Bologna is one as well, or rather is 2 as well. And Mulling Glacier can just basically either snipe 2 cards from the hand or force the infinite impermanence from Uchenna, which would feel very, very bad on his side. There's also the Rain in hand. Rain can tribute away the Neptabis. Neptabis is going to trigger, then summon back a Dragoon, and if you find a way into a Pike, which you can with Deep Sea King Colicant, then you can go for a Bahamut Shark, detach Dragoons to get a Surge, and summon totally awesome. It is, in fact, totally awesome.
Yeah, that is really awesome. We are going to use the Impermanence, unsurprisingly. We also got to consider that Uchenna, it's not a good interruption, but he still has Kirin effect in hand to destroy the Ulcanix, which would then at least give them 2 monsters on the field, but they don't do anything on the field, and therefore it's probably not that good of a thing to do, giving up 2 cards in hand for that. Okay, but now we continue.
We will tribute the Prince to special summon level 7 Fizz, or add probably special summon Deep Sea King. And Prince then will trigger to special summon back the Dragoon from the graveyard.
There he is, the one-off Abyss Megalo in the deck. And we're triggering the Prince now, as you were saying.
However, the Megalo does not trigger on a summon like this. It only searches you an equip spell if you have summoned it by discarding 2 water monsters. That did not happen. You can tribute, of course, the Dragoons to get double the attack, or to get 2 attacks this turn. Dragoon's effect is going to trigger to extend your plays, but let's not forget that there is, as Basti mentioned earlier, the possibility for a Kirin effect to build up a wall, basically.
Indeed, yeah. And I don't know whether Luca is considering that at the moment, because this looks like he's definitely just setting up the double attack of Abyss Megalo, and I mean, that could easily be stopped then.
Yep.
Let's see. We're going to use the effect of Megalo. That's such a classic effect to use in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Double attacking, that's not a common thing to see anymore in 2024 Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest. But Megalo still does that. Did it back in the day, still doing it here in 2024. And so far, doing really well for Luca, of course.
And Luca hasn't normal summoned yet.
Oh, that's insane. Yeah. You gotta be kidding me. Really? He didn't normal summon yet?
Nope. Minstrel, discard the Shadow Squad.
Oh, you're
Shadow Squad
right.
special, summon Neptabis. Neptabis effect. I don't have to
You
run
gotta
down the
be kidding
spreadsheet.
me, yeah. That's crazy, actually. All of that without even normal summoning. So, for how long is the Impermanence actually gone? When is it returning to the hand?
In the end phase.
In the end phase,
But
okay.
if Uchenna starts summoning monsters to defend his life points, then it's not going to have any kind of impact.
Oh, that is the normal summon now. There is the normal summon of Deep Sea Minstrel. And, yep, now we go for the effect of Kirin. Oh, and Luca, look, he is surprised. He didn't expect that. He didn't realize that you could also just destroy another fire monster in the hand. So maybe he is misstepping into this interaction. Uchenna is carefully explaining it now. And Luca was very ready to attack for game. But no, we're bringing out the Kirin. And I'm sure we also can summon out the Garunix from the deck now.
There is still one thing that Luca has going for him. I mean, there's multiple things that Luca has going for him. This is basically a last defense from Uchenna. However, this has to be end of main phase, so Luca gets to do more in his main phase.
True.
However, he burned through quite a lot of resources. There's not really... Okay, we're ashing that, so we know how to run over Kirin. Do we know how to remove Kirin properly in this situation? Because you can't just destroy it by battle, right?
I mean, you can, technically, but the question is going to be whether that's going to be
Do you want
the
that?
outcome that you are willing to have of that. Because, of course, Kirin, if it is getting destroyed, it can just bring back a fire king from the graveyard and
Ulcanix is going to trigger,
something.
destroy Flamberge, and is going to search for the big Garunix. Garunix is going to special summon itself, back summon Avatar. There is going to be a big chain of events that you don't want to have here. So Luca has to find a way to stop the heat and cool down a little bit, perhaps by splashing some water into his face, and find a way to win this game at this point. It looks like a puzzle that you should be able to solve somehow, but I would have, of course, preferred... Is he actually... Basti, you have the deck list.
Yes.
Is he running the Deep Sea King? Is he running Colicant?
He is, let me check. That's a very good question, because that's another controversial topic between the Mermail community, and he's not. No, he's not running that.
He can though go to Marine's Link 2,
Yeah.
a special summon squad,
True,
activate
true.
its effects to make all the monsters level 7 on the field, and make Gaius, then Gaius to Poseidra, and it will
Ooh,
be...
oh, you might be right. Oh, but we go for a synchro summon. Shang Ying is coming out. I didn't even realize that the Deep Sea Minstrel actually is a tuner, but yes, of course it is. So Chengying coming out. Do we have a card to be banished here, though?
We have the Abyss Rhine. I think on the opposing turn you can banish it from the graveyard to get a draw and a discard.
Oh, so we're just setting up for the opponent's turn here?
Yeah.
Is that what we do?
That's what it looks like. And Luca, is he trying to run over?
Oh, no.
I would not advise you to do that.
Oh, Luca's double-checking, confirming his opponent.
Is he discussing with Uchenna the possible lines that he has now? It's like, hey, by the way, if I run over Kirin, you can summon Ulcanix, right? And then you trigger Ulcanix, you have the Flamberge in hand, right? So, discussing the full game plan.
Of course, it's nice to see social cards on the field.
Oh, are we in the battle phase? Are we trying to do that?
All right.
I don't think we are, right?
Oh,
we're just passing over. And I mean, this deck, that Fire King Snake Eye deck, is scary. It's able to do so many things, and even though it didn't do that last turn, that's not really an indicator, because last turn he was choosing not to do anything, and he knows that there's, for example, Hollowed Azamina waiting in the hand. So, I would definitely be scared here in Luca's shoes. So, what do we draw? We got back the Impermanence, and I think we've seen a lot of Mulchamis resolving this game already. And Uchenna just decides to draw another one here.
That's of course not optimal. However, we set the Impermanence.
We're setting it. We're setting the Hollowed Azamina as well.
It cannot be activated since there is no card to send, like a simple Wanted or Deception.
True. You're right. So the Hollowed Azamina alone doesn't do a whole lot, and we can pass it back over to Luca now.
In the end phase, you can activate the Rhine in the graveyard, discard your Stream from the hand, and get another draw. That means basically this is a 2-card draw phase for him, and a banish, of course, with the Chengying.
And also Chengying gets 100 attack for each banished card.
Wow, this is crazy.
Kirin loses 100 attack. I wonder how relevant that is going to be. Actually, you could attempt to, if you think you're not going to win the game next turn, you can banish one of the face-down cards and banish the Ulcanix from the graveyard so that Kirin doesn't have a proper target.
Okay, so we draw. There
is pretty interesting.
The effect of the Chengying. And just making sure that the Witcher stream is going to be explained here carefully. I think we just saw Neuron being used here to provide the information needed, and we have seen the Chengying now resolving. We have cleared the monster out of the graveyard, and more importantly, even the monster on the field. And that is going to be scary now. Uchenna still has full life points, but I mean, that's a lot of attack points already on the field there.
Not enough, though.
Not enough, though. You're right. So, 2 cards in hand.
There is one of them as an Ash Blossom. Is that another Shadow Squad that
Indeed it is.
It does look like it for sure. Oh, we just go into battle phase, though. Here we are. That is plenty of damage, but as Leo was saying, it is still not enough, so we will see Uchenna having another turn.
And the Molenglacia is just chilling there, having a good time. So Luca values the Ash Blossom over a possible Abyss Gaius that he could summon. Of course, knowing there is infinite impermanence set on the field, and he knows the Chengying isn't going to do anything this turn, so the impermanence does not really have a valuable target right here. However, if you commit into discard Ash Blossom after summoning the Shadow Squad, and then overlay with the Molenglacia, you would provide a valuable target for the impermanence. You would summon Abyss Gaius, invest everything you have, and then go, hey, here, imper me, and then start playing, if you can. Can he?
Normal summon, Droll, and Lockbird.
This is the Anima Zone.
What are we on to here? It is the Anima Zone, you're right. Linking off the Droll and Lockbird.
Wait, do we... Oh, this is nasty.
Wow.
Do we take the Molenglacia and then crash, destroy the Molenglacia, and then skip the battle phase of our opponent next turn?
There is also the effect of Virtuous Stream that can banish itself from the graveyard to shuffle back 3 water monsters to the deck.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Infinite impermanence being used.
Excuse me, it gives protection to a water monster.
Yeah. Oh, but it does not have to happen on protection. So it just chooses a monster on the field and says, hey, once per turn, when this card would be destroyed, it is not. So you can activate it whenever you want and trigger the Chengying. That is very strong by Luca.
That's true. And so I was just wondering whether the Molenglacia would even trigger here, because Molenglacia says when it is leaving the field face up, it will skip the next battle phase. But it hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, we did not crash into the Jenny.
Ooh, okay, so we are having the battle phase here. That's risky to give him the battle phase, honestly.
Oh, and Shadow Squad. Another one was top decked. I think we have 2 Shadow Squads here. Are we going to make everything level 7?
We do.
Can we get perhaps a Neptibus here on the field?
So, Luca once more explaining it to Ochena. Triggering it in the graveyard. That's also going to be fine.
Oh, and if you remove the anima now, the next battle phase won't be skipped, but the one of the next turn. So you can remove it very freely here and just go into battle phase after that, because you're only going to miss out on the next. And I'm not really sure if we're going to see one. Neptibus. It's pretty Nepta busy today.
Oh my, it is for sure. We send Dragoons, and I think Uchena kind of realizes now what he's up to, because this is a lot of attack points coming his way there.
What are we searching here? Is it going to be another Reen? Yeah. Getting the Reen, Ryan. I love that we now have Atlantean cards that look like Mermail cards and Mermail cards that look like Atlantean cards, while they're also always treated as such.
They're all one big family. The water family is reunited, and it's actually doing really, really well here in this tournament as well. And yeah, we spotted a couple of Mermail players actually doing decent. Also, for like maybe general overview at the moment, there is definitely Tenpai doing decently well at the top tables. I saw like basically every table through the top 10 tables, I want to say, had a Tenpai on it, or at least like 7 at least out of those 10. Sometimes even playing against each other, so there's plenty of that. And interestingly enough, there's also multiple Ritual Beast player performing decently well. So maybe it's Euros all over again with Tenpai and Ritual Beast going strong. But we will have to see. First of all, Mermail is going strong as we have number 2, game number 2. And honestly, Luca would be happy to draw those Molcharmies again, because this time they would be very, very, very much stopping the opponent. And is there anything? Draw phase, Luca? Are we going to do something? Yep, there is the Purulia again. And honestly, I feel like Purulia at the moment, it almost feels like it has more of an impact than Fuvalos. It's kind of crazy.
I've had a discussion with Max van Neversale about this, but I'm going to prolong that because there's a way to play around that. And that is, oh wow, discard Garunix for 1/1. You don't need to normal summon your Snake Eye Ash if you can just special summon it from deck. Where is Fuvalos now? But the thing about Fuvalos versus Purulia is that Purulia gives you immediate value, and if you're playing a deck with multiple hand traps, you don't want to let your opponent play, because they can do some stuff, get some resources before you can activate your Fuvalos, because you don't want to drop it on the empty field.
There is Dominus Impulse right after, though, on the 1/1. That's massive. That's a 2-for-1 trade. And even though the Purulia hasn't drawn anything yet, it is going to be stopping that 1-for-1. But at least Bonfire right after. Bonfire, though, is going to add to the hand and will result in a draw here for Luca with the Purulia.
Not yet, but as soon as Ash is normal summoned,
there it is. Immediately, of course, getting the draw. And now after that, of course, the usual sequence, the usual play here is searching Poplar, and Snake Eye Poplar is then also, guess what, special summon itself from the hand. Netting another draw here for Luca, and Luca is already smiling about that, because there he goes, number 2.
Interesting decision though, because he has the Droll and Lockbird in hand. I think at this point you don't get too many draws anymore from this combo, so you could have on summon, on resolve, activated the Droll and Lockbird as well, or you could have chained it so your opponent doesn't get to search.
Yes, activated Impulse. That's why he was thinking on 1-for-1, and because if he activates Impulse, he cannot draw then.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. And on top of that, I don't really agree on saying that we are not summoning from the hand that much anymore. This is a Fire King version of the deck at the end of the day, so Garunix and so on would still be...
Garunix is in the graveyard.
Oh, all right, true. Oh, we started with that. That's a very good point. Yeah, so maybe not that many special summons from the hand coming our way here. But first of all...
Doesn't matter, Dominus Impulse was used. You're completely correct about this.
That is true. So now, are we going to see the Flamberge Dragon? Interestingly enough, I think we see it for the first time this weekend, right? This is the first feature match of a Snake Eye deck we have.
Have you missed it?
Kinda, yeah. I don't mind it, for sure. I like the Snake Eye decks. They're pretty good, if you ask me.
Just wouldn't deny that, no.
Okay, there's the Flamberge Dragon putting the Poplar into the scale.
Lambert is sitting pretty. We're going to see the good old OSS original sinful spoils, sending Poplar from the spell and trap zone. Ponix!
There he is. Ponix. And it feels like Luca is trying to hold back, but no, there's nothing.
I've had a very interesting discussion about the Mermail versus Fire King matchup with Alexander Hulch, one of the more well-known Mermail players from Europe. And he said that this matchup is actually, if your opponent goes for a rather lackluster field and not the full everything field, that you actually have a good shot to play through it with Engine, especially if you have resolved the Perulia and gotten 2 draws. I think there's a decent shot that you make it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it left and right. Mermail is one of those decks with a crazy engine capable of playing through fields just with their engine cards. So I would totally not be surprised because, let's be realistic, the field that Snake Eye Fire King is putting up is quite interactive and so on, but it's not like the most impressive combo field that just seems impossible to break.
It's not Ubel.
Yeah, exactly. So I could definitely see it happening.
It's also not Mermail, because that field is crazy.
It is for sure.
It is one of the times that drawing Garunix is actually a good thing, though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
True. But what the Mermail deck does best against the Snake Eye deck is actually summoning an easy Abyss Dueller very early into the turn, forcing your opponent to remove your level 4 bodies from the field, because once you have the Dweller on the field, you take away so many interactions.
Ooh, look at that zombie vampire coming out here. That is more so a new technology, I want to say, that the Fire King decks are using. And we are going to see the top 4 cards from both players here, and then Uchenna will be able to special summon one of the monsters revealed. Okay. Getting Wanted and Deception to the graveyard isn't that bad. He doesn't get any monster on his own side, but he can choose one from the opponent, though.
There's even a fire monster if you need it.
Actually, this is massive, having a fire monster there, because that makes Hita way more valuable in the first turn. Just creates another monster out of nowhere because you did hit that Ash Blossom there. I like that a lot. That's good for him. That's very good. And of course, the Wanted ain't that bad either. Do we even... There's nothing to the Wanted, right? I mean, it gives us another draw, I guess. But besides that... I mean, yeah, I'm saying just another draw, but I guess getting another draw after you comboed already is pretty good. And look at that. We are going to use that here. Putting the Deception back underneath the deck and drawing a card.
It's pretty relevant since he can draw utility cards now, since he has used a lot of his engine.
And he did. I think he picked up something like an Infinite Impermanence. And... that is also really helpful. Now we're linking off. Are we linking off the heat? Are we linking into the heater? Yes. We're Ash climbing. We're Ash climbing.
Oh man, this Ash is putting in way more work for Uchenna than for Luca, even though it's his card. We
gonna have a serious talk with it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, after this match, if Uchenna manages to win, maybe Luca has to give him the card now because it's more so Uchenna's card at this point.
Very duelist kingdom of him.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to bring out the Promethean Princess. We're going to the graveyard because there is, of course, still plenty of cards in there which we haven't even necessarily summoned ourselves, but in the process somehow brought them into the graveyard. But Princess will probably just bring back... What do we bring back here? We could go Hita, which is a Link 2, because all of the other stuff has kind of already been used. It's kind of interesting to see that the Flamberge has not found its way into the graveyard yet, because usually you bring back Flamberge with the Promethean Princess, but that one is still chilling there on the field.
Yeah, and it's not really necessarily looking like it's going to do something.
All right.
Graveyard effect, Ulcanix. Have we used Ulcanix?
Good question, honestly. I think we did. We searched the Kirin, right? I'm pretty sure we searched the Kirin.
Fair.
Okay, so linking off now the Flamberge and the Promethean Princess.
Smells like an Ember Whale here.
And it's very important that
Sunlight Wolf. Okay.
Uchenna doesn't need to care about Nibiru since Impulse has been activated.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's a very, very good point, yeah. Those niche restrictions by the Dominus cards, you need to remember those, because some people might just still be playing around Nibiru here, but there's actually no need. You can play the combo in the best possible way that you want, disregarding that Nibiru completely, because it just cannot be activated even if it is there.
I love the balancing on that card, to be honest, because this makes it just great. You know, there is certain drawbacks. You have to deck build your deck
efficiently, for sure.
Yeah, I love this.
I am absolutely on board with that. Okay, so we are linking off these two. Is this going to be IP Masquerena? It is indeed going to be that. So we did now lose our chance to actually bring the Flamberge back to the field to put it into the Spell and Trap Zone. But I think our way of accessing the IP Masquerade and the Graveyard is the card that we're seeing now here, and it is going to be the Amploid. And ooh! Are we just going to bring out the card that is supposed to be for the Tenpai matchup, Kikinagi Fucho, for our own first turn? Of course, being a pretty good card just to say, hey, I'm not going to lose the game next turn.
Actually, Flamberge in the beginning brought back the Popular to the Spell and Trap Zone.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly. So it has already done its job.
I like the play with the Fucho since now he's protected for one turn, and the follow-up that Uchena has, it's probably game the next turn.
Yeah, that's actually very, very smart what he did there. Over to Luca, and I think Luca has just picked up Abyss Megalo for a turn, and with all those monsters that he has there in his hand, that could be massive. Okay, standby phase, Ponix back to the hand. We know those shenanigans, but now back to the deck that got recent support, the deck that we may not know that much about just yet, and Luca is here for us, showcasing it to us in the round 7 featured match. What is he going to do?
I like that Uchena is now just playing with the camera and looking at his friends outside, because he has summoned the Kikinigagi Fucho in a matchup where I don't want to say doesn't belong, but it's very unusual to see that here, and it looks like it's going to win him the game. We haven't even started the turn of Luca, but I'm struggling to find a theoretical approach to play through this. But let's see what Luca can cook up here. Of course, if he manages to take out the field from Uchena and then set up a full field with Abyss Dweller and other cards, this could still work wonders for him. Now we're going to activate
the infantry. Yeah, and we could technically target the field spell if we wanted to, but they could protect that. Oh, but there also is the Droll and Lockbird. Luca looking at his hand furiously. Does he have any way to extend through that? Luca picks up his cards. 1-1 this, and there. Is that going to make them better? I don't know, but let's see.
It's Exodia, right?
Oh, and look at that. I think Luca drew both crossout targets. I think he drew the Droll and Lockbird and the Perulia there.
Oh,
or the Fuvalos even.
That looks like Ryan with Dragoon, so I think he's okay.
Okay, yeah, I guess that will do the trick for now.
And he has also an Ash Blossom in order to play around one from the Machalmis.
Oh, speaking of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, though, that is Uchena activating it.
Looking at the hand of Uchena, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this kind of looks like there are 3 Ash Blossoms.
Oh my.
And
the
now
playset.
We still get to search the Neptibus. You Ash Blossom to Ryan thinking, hey, this was +1 for me, but there is no normal summon. Neptibus is being summoned here, and it is going to activate, going +1 for cost immediately. Can you even impermanence the rest? This looks like it is going to resolve, or did we perhaps just say, okay, you can pay the cost and then I'm going to think a little bit about it. Shadow Squad is being activated. Neptibus is going to resolve. I think we're going to see the next Dragoons being added to the hand. Shadow Squad might summon out a Pike, and then this looks like it's about to be full combo.
This is a big wave lining up here. Water is definitely right now getting into the groove. Luca perhaps maybe going to perform his biggest combo of the match so far. Oh, yep, he just keeps on going. Uchena also says, yeah, just keep the deck open, just keep on running. And what are we going to grab here?
It doesn't quite have a poker face here.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree. Discarding the Dragoons. Oh my. It's good to see those cards back, isn't it?
It is. I'm so hyped about this. Discarding. Now, what are we going to search here? Are we going to search an Abyss Gun?
That's also another card where people are hesitant about whether to run it or not, and I see Luca is running 1 Abyss Gandhi in there. Yeah, that's true. Some like it, some prefer not to run it, but I actually go with Luca. I really like the card, honestly.
Me too.
I can confirm that. It is a very good option in the scenario like this.
Yeah. Sounds about right. So, or maybe it's not though. I think we have settled on the Gandhi now, but also the Dragoon Surge is going to come through now too. What is that going to bring us?
Let's see how Luca gets to another level 4 on the field, because Rhine was already activated, so you can't tribute the Neptibus from the field anymore to special summon back the Dragoons from the graveyard and go into a profitable Bahamut Shark, just detaching material for cost, thus activating the Dragoons. You're searching for another Neptibus, which now just seems like follow-up, or do you have a way to discard it?
Maybe there's a Megalo waiting in hand. I don't know. He drew it 2 games in a row, so maybe another one here. We'll have to see. Luca. He doesn't look as confident anymore, to be honest, right now. Linking off here instead.
He has an extra deck too.
Yes. I'm surprised, but you are surprised by that. But yeah, there is Bicoral Anemone. Honorable Marince's card in his extra deck.
That lets you special summon one more water monster from the graveyard to the field.
Yep. Water Gang! Can you special summon something that discard Cyber Gang? That's what I wanted to say. And yes, there is a way to discard. You can summon out the Shadow Squad. Shadow Squad can discard and make all water monsters level 7. But how does that help you in this situation?
Okay, discarding the Gandhi. Gandhi is going to bring back... Are we going to bring back Pike? We are bringing back Pike. Okay, so that's a level 4 monster again. But now?
Is Pike once per turn? That is a big question here.
I mean, it's a pretty old card, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's not.
No, he actually is.
Okay, we're linking once more here, and there is now going to be the Mermail Atlantean coming out.
And I think this one only discards on the opposing turn, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what are we trying to get to here?
Have we overcooked?
I think that was the hand motion. I think we're giving it over to Uchenna. And Uchenna couldn't be happier, honestly, because he's playing against Mermail, a deck that is supposed to create crazy fields. And all of a sudden, he's just staring down that Mermail Atlantean plus a single Coral Anemone, which is actually quite good with its graveyard effect because it will generate follow-up too. But I don't think follow-up right now is the issue for Luca because he has enough of that.
There is a big choke point for the deck, and that is Abyss Rhine. If you stop them from using that, it is going to be tough to create the follow-up for the field because you want this level 7, you want the toys or the Megalo in some situations. In this one, a toys would change the complete game. You can discard Neptubis, summon back Dragoons, go for whatever you want. However,
oh my,
it wasn't there here.
You know what? I think Uchenna just drew that Poplar for turn, and that is not really the card you want to see because Poplar is the one you want to search, and rightfully so at the moment. It is sitting at a limited state in the TCG, and therefore picking up that one limited copy of it is not what you want to see, but there is Ash Blossom and Joy Spring on it, and usually Kirin is great with dodging interaction.
It's
not going to dodge that Ash Blossom and Joy Spring though, because it is still going to negate here. Impulse as well though on the Kirin.
Oh, that is... I don't think that is too big here. The Kirin wouldn't have done too much, I suppose. It's not being destroyed. You don't have a trap card in the graveyard, which is...
No, it would.
Mostly turn.
Because Kirin would be special summoned, and then you can make Hita, and there is an Ash Blossom on Lucas' board.
I mean, that would require him to have another fire monster.
He can bonfire to take
Fuvalos gets ashed here. Okay, we can use those ashes step by step.
Abyss Rhine.
Right,
and it was discarded for Fuvalos.
It is not Max C, Basti.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 2 per second. Yo, you guys are so right. I completely accepted the fact that he did that.
There is usually Bonfire is a crazy extender, but now Poplar is being limited to 1, and that changes the deck so much. He has used the normal summon already. Searches for an Oak, and Oak doesn't do anything. I forgot. I thought the Kirin was used to dodge an Ash Blossom, which obviously does not work. So I was confused by that too. But you can also, of course, destroy the Ash Blossom from your own hand and then go into Heater. You were right about that, Mike.
You can also activate first Bonfire to add Ash on or Rock, and then destroy Kirin, the Ash in the hand, special summon, make Hita, Princess, and then bring back the one that was destroyed.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, over to Luca. It was enough. We were thinking, what kind of Mermail field is this? It did the trick against the Poplar here on the other side of the field, and there is another Neptubis. The Prince is back.
This is an up and down, a roller coaster of emotions. All these turns passed from Luca with a lackluster combo field, or sometimes not even a field whatsoever.
Yeah, no Promethean Princes for Uchenna, but the Neptubis Prince, the Atlantean Prince for Luca, and I think this Prince might be sealing the deal here. Going through his...
Are we going to send a Shadow Squad?
Yep, it is in the graveyards.
You just need damage on the field.
Yep, true. It's less than 5 minutes remaining on the round, so Luca definitely will have to take care of that. Mermail's combos tend to take a little longer, but there only is a Poplar on the opponent's side of the field. We do have to consider that there's also still Kieran in the hands, so definitely don't forget about that, because there is something which Senna can do. Ash Blossom and Joy Spring now, though, on the Shadow Squad, I believe, right?
The third one in
true.
in this duel. And Luca has forgotten about the Kirin once already in game 1. Will he do that again? I mean, he already has so many monsters on the field. It is tempting to just go battle phase and go for some damage. But Luca perhaps can go for something else. What does he have here? The Abyss Rhine is not being... Abyss Rhine, the Abyss Lacia can't be used here. Only on the opposing turn.
So are we trying to maybe go into Zealand? Oh, okay. I like this. I think we just declare our battle phase. Then he has to do the Kirin, because that is in the main phase only. And then we can think about stuff again. Like, then we can just reset our mind and be like, okay, now how do I deal with this? And one good way possibly to deal with this is linking into Zealantis possibly. For a second I was like, how are we banishing those now? But that is going to be it's not Zealantis, it is the Mermail King Napped Abyss instead. All the kings united now on the water side. That one's 2400. Luca trying to find a monster bigger than that Kirin. It looks like he's struggling with that, though, to be honest. He's going through his graveyard. How do we get over that Kirin? He passes it over. There's no way. Uchana is on it again. Norman summoning the Oak. He's in this. How?
Poplar is being summoned. Poplar is going to search out the next card.
There's
Original
no way.
Sinful Spoils. Can we get a Ponix? Now this has to be in super speed. Uchenna now channeling. He's laughing at the camera, but rather play. You have 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Uchana brings out the Flamberge possibly.
He's already targeting cards when he hasn't even summoned a
He
Flamberge
cannot
yet.
target Prince, I think.
True, he can't target Prince, but he can target the Mermail King Napped Abyss, right? Because only the monsters that are protected by the king, or that are
Yeah, I
pointed
think
to.
that's what he was asking before, pushing it back into the spell and trap zone. Uchana all of a sudden in the lead. Who could have seen that coming?
2 minutes left remaining. Tributes away or sends away the Flamberge Dragon here for the original Sinful Spoils. Ponix is being summoned. You can summon back 2 monsters from the graveyard. Not if there aren't any. Yeah, and smiling into the camera, but you need the damage. 2 minutes, Uchenna. The Kirin is waiting. The Kirin is looking so angry at Luca. Wants to attack here, but the battle phase has not been entered yet.
Yeah, he's calm and chill, honestly. Uchenna doesn't even like worry about
Too
it.
chill. I'm super stressed out right now.
You are more stressed out than him for sure at the moment. Uchenna just casually resolving that Fire King Island there. Garunix it is. More and more monsters. I think he actually is setting up to go for the full 8,000 points of damage here. He wants to do it in style. He wants to finish the match before the timer runs out. He just actually wants to win it as he is supposed to. Oh, Kirin effect going to destroy the Prince.
And that is going to resolve.
Look at that. We link off these. I thought for a second we go for Fucho again here.
For dominance.
Nope, it's Hita though instead.
Just
Hita
being
effect.
summoned. We know about the Ash Blossom. This can be Promethean Princess into the Ambler Whale. This would then be game 1 minute left. At this point, I'm still not really doubting that Uchenna is going to make it. Still, I'm super stressed out about this situation. There is... He's not going fast at this point. This is just regular pace.
He is the most chill Fire King player I've ever seen. Honestly, there's Flamberge back. That's so many attack points. Are we finally entering the battle phase? It looks like we are. Uchenna in the battle phase. Uchenna, match winner here with